Any other officials this morning? Public forum. Anybody would like to speak to something that is not on the agenda may do so now.
Good
Morning.
morning again. This kind of reminds me of ancient history when I was in college at UNL. And I signed up for a speech class and I took it on the city campus. Got to go into class and everybody there is a lawyer or a architect or major, and here I am, an ag major. But I had one advantage. I was from McCool Junction. I lived in Hayes Township, so I had plenty to talk about. I have the same thing now. We talk about food security is, you know, anybody here have a baby that they need a, anyway, I think that's gonna be more important, and I think that food is more important than green energy in this point in time. Another thing, in the last year and a half, and then just this last week, I've had a couple married couples come to me. They're looking for a place. They want to build a house. Because some of us like to look out there and see 32,000 corn plants come up an acre, or 140,000 soybeans, or new baby calf. When we go look for asparagus, and we could raise asparagus because there's wild asparagus out there. You can hear the turkeys cluck and fly away from the ducks and the geese come. You can hear the whistle blow in Fairmont rail track sometimes, and sometimes from York. Anyway, then the other fact is, since 2000, I'll find my figures here. Since 1992 to 2012, over 31 million acres were taken out of ag production for subdivisions. And I can't remember how many years ago there was an article about how many thousands of acres in eastern Nebraska has been taken out of production. Because I know several of my college friends with 1031 land here in York County because they couldn't farm anymore, the highway took their building site. And I guess that's, you know where I'm coming from here anyway. I appreciate your attention and the opportunity to visit with you, and I would encourage all citizens, we need to all do this sometime, even when we don't have a crisis. We need to understand, well, the things that you have to decide, and you put your effort and time and effort, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Anybody else like to speak at this time during the public forum? Morning.
Morning. Like Jim said, at some time we all have to do this. Kelly Reel, 810 Road E, Grafton. I just have a couple of comments this morning. Thank you to each of you for being willing to serve. After coming in and seeing more of what goes on in county government, your job is far from every other Tuesday morning. You put in a lot of time, and thank you. Thank you to those that attended the EDF meeting the other night. Two things that stood out the most to me at that meeting, that one is when asked how many EDF projects their company had retained, the answer that we heard the other night was 25%. That's far different from what the salespeople that had approached us had told us. We've been told time and time again, they're in the energy business. They build these to produce electricity and sell it. And then the other thing is the most honest statement I heard that night. When the EDF representative said this was a new industry, there's a lot they don't know, and there's a lot that they're learning along the way. Does York County want to be part of this great experiment? What will it really do environmentally to everyone's health? Will these panels hold up to extreme weather? Everything right now to this point is just lab testing, theories, experiments within controlled environments. Thank you for your continued work on this, and I appreciate all you do.
Thank you, Kelly. Anyone else like to speak at this point in time? Okay, seeing no others, we will go on with the meeting. There should be no need for an executive session that I'm aware of today. There are no general assistance cases. Approve payroll and vendor claims. You should have had that in your packets. Any questions that can be answered at this time, if there is any?
Mr. Chairman, are there any special claims at all, or additional claims? I would move that we approve the payroll and vendor claims as presented, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Bill. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Holgren.
Yes.
Osborne.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Whitmore.
Yes. Okay, there's no funding transfers that,
Well, we're checking in on that one, the juvenile diversion. She hasn't got back to us on that one.
okay.
Hold on that till we get an answer. or-
Well, no, we should be okay.
Okay.
Because that money typically lags behind a
Okay.
week, so we should be okay
Perfect.
on that one. I would say at the next meeting, if that's the case, then we could do the transfers then for
Okay.
that. Okay, next up then, we have discuss and act, Mitch. This is a weed report that I guess I got emailed to me, I'm sure Mitch did too, and just wanted the board to go over this, if they had any questions of Mitch, or at this time, if not, then, I believe, did I have to sign it? It's been a couple weeks since I looked at it, we talked before the last meeting, had to sign it, and, this is the report, the annual report, right?
Yeah.
Or the testing that you went through, I should say.
Yeah,
to-
these are the parts that you guys looked at in January that we all signed. So this is just after you guys look at them, I send them into my state, and my inspector looks them over, and then he oversees them and makes any additions or corrections, and then they get sent to the county boards, and they look over, and then we discuss them like we're doing now. So mine turned out okay. I got all my points and I was needing, so I guess if you guys have any questions on anything further that we discussed back in January, I guess I'm here to answer any questions. If not, I guess we can sign them if everybody agrees.
Yep, sign it, and I think just this time it's just myself, isn't it, just Sharon signing
Yeah.
it and filing it.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to authorize the chairman to sign the noxious weed reports and requirements presented by weed superintendent Mitch Hudson.
Thank you, Bill.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Lumsberg.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Holgren.
Yes.
Whitmore.
Yes, thanks, Mitch. Seemed like a formality, but they asked us to do it, so we did it. So if you leave that with Kelly, then it.
Sure. Just want to let you know I'm in the process of fairground and spraying county road shop right now, and after that I'll be doing some bridges and spraying some leafy spurge.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to be doing for a little bit.
Okay,
So, thank you guys.
thanks, Mitch. Next up is something obviously we do every year too, a couple cemeteries we take care of. Kurt usually takes care of contacting.
Yes, and the individuals that took care of the cemeteries last year both agreed to take care of them again this year for the same bid as last year, and I can't remember off the top of my head what that.
$750.
Well, one was a
They were
little higher.
different.
Yeah, one was higher. One was 700 and one was 800, I think.
Okay,
So, and they understand that it'll be two installments on that, one in the spring after the
Spring
spring
and fall.
mowing, one after the fall mowing, well before Memorial Day and Labor Day, so. And they typically get in there and do more than just one mowing anyways, just because it's easier to maintain it if you're mowing it more frequently, so. I would move to approve the bids as presented to us for the care of mowing of the cemeteries that are abandoned in York County.
Second.
Thank you, Kurt, Jack. Do we have names?
Yes, Jen, bring it up here, Jen Botham will take care of the Cashler Cemetery on the York-Stewart County line. Then Austin Johnson will take care of the, I believe it's called the Zion Cemetery up in the northern part of the county. And I will look here, Kelly, on the county website to see what their bids were last year.
I think one was 700, one was 800.
Any other discussion regarding this? Roll call, please.
Holgren.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Bosworth.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Hopper.
Yes. And you'll get that number. Well, Kelly should have that number too.
Yeah.
Discuss an act on a special designated liquor license at Wessel's Living History Farm for June 4th, 2022. You guys should have had that in your packet also. Looks like they're gonna have a dance out there.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Do they have law enforcement available out there?
Well, they talked about in the application having security personnel of 6 to 8 people.
Okay.
And it looks like they're doing, perimeter fencing around the, if you wanna call it a beer garden or wherever the dance is gonna take place. So,
This is a private event, is that right?
looks like it's the one that's hosted by Wessels
By Wessels?
themselves.
Oh, okay. So however they want to do that, which is fine.
I
was
think
just-
they did something like this prior to the COVID.
Okay.
Seemed to me there was a polka or something type band that was out there at that time and
Okay.
was pretty well attended. So I assume that they're trying to get back into the
Sure.
wave of things.
And we just need to authorize the chairman to sign this?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
I would move, Mr. Chairman, to authorize the York County Board Chairman to sign the application for special designated license for liquor license at Wessels,
Thank you, Kurt.
as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Bill. Any other discussion?
And the special, this just gives it's a permission for that one event, is that
Yes.
correct?
June 4th.
We've done this, I think, about every year for the
Yeah.
last 2-3 years. Numerous. or
Obviously,
different
before
times.
COVID, we had
Right.
done it, yeah. Yep. Yep. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Holgren.
Yes.
Bosworth.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Hopper.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I did find those numbers,
Okay.
the bids last year. For the Cashler Cemetery, it was $700, and Zion Cemetery, $800.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, this next item is discuss an act on vehicle donation from City of York to York County Public Transportation. I assume Lori knows about this.
As part of a group with Four Corners, we've been discussing transportation needs for the community to get health-related services. And actually, it's a bigger thing than that, but Four Corners, I think, is going to come at some point in time and talk to you about the group. But what came out of that was the need for vehicles, because like you all know, we're down vehicles, and our vehicles are breaking down because they're so old and haven't been able to be replaced due to the availability issue. And so we talked at that group about some options of meeting the needs of the community in the meantime, and one of those was to receive used vehicles that were basically being used by either the sheriff's office or the city office or some office where they could then donate those vehicles to us. And Sue, this city administrator, has offered a vehicle to us. It is a police vehicle that has been decommissioned. They've actually removed the cage and all the police stuff from it, and has offered it to the county for use in the public transit program, which would be very helpful, because when one of our other aging vehicles, especially one with a lift, is being worked on, which they often are now because they're so old, it would be an available vehicle that we could use and then not have to deny a ride to somebody because we don't have an available vehicle, which we have had to do here in the recent past. Like the last 6 months, our denials have gone up, and it's basically because of no vehicle available, because they're either in the shop or they're being used. So I would like to recommend that we accept this contribution to our program. She has even offered to give a little bit of maintenance money for it as well, because we had mentioned during that because of the high breakdown of the vehicles, we've basically used most of our maintenance budget for this fiscal year, and so the offer was made for some maintenance monies to come along with it.
What is the vehicle, Lori?
It is a, let's see, a Ford Explorer that they're retiring. And she sent pictures. It's got 2 seats. It's got the front 2 seats and then 2 seats in the back, and then in the back they've cleared everything out, and it's got a lot of room in the back in the trunk area.
Okay.
So it would be able to provide services. I mean, the majority of our riders are ambulatory, so it would be able to do anybody that, provide that for anybody that's ambulatory, and have plenty of room for groceries and things like that.
Go ahead, Kurt.
So it has captain seats, is what you're saying, like the 2 seats are captain?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
How many miles are on this vehicle?
I don't know, actually. I didn't.
And what year is this vehicle?
I don't think she told me that as well.
Okay. I'd be a little apprehensive, right? I'm not saying they're trying to give us a vehicle that's, excuse me, not roadworthy, but we've
Right.
had this discussion about a month or so ago already about utilizing, say, a sheriff's vehicle where they utilize their vehicles to the very end. And then we try to use them for other purposes, and then becomes a maintenance issue. So I think I'd want a little bit more information about the mileage and the year on that vehicle, how old it is, before I move forward on this.
And I would say this would be a temporary thing until we get our new vehicle, just because we're in dire need of a vehicle during breakdown issues, so.
Thank you.
Jack?
Kurt, the reason this was brought up mainly was for transportation after 5 o'clock from the emergency room. When people go to the emergency room, they have no vehicles evidently available at the hospital to take these people home. That's what was brought it up. That's what brought up the main discussion on it. These vehicles, just like the sheriff's vehicles, are probably better maintained than most used vehicles you're gonna find on the lots. The oil is changed regularly. The tires are generally kept up to standards. So these vehicles are not junk.
Yeah.
But the problem is, when you put them on an auction, they get very little for them. And Mrs. Crawford was kind enough to offer this for the county's use, basically for those purposes. It won't be taken on trips out of town, probably. So, just because it's being taken out of emergency service doesn't mean it's not a decent vehicle.
Yeah, it looks really nice, but, they look nice and you don't know what's underneath the thing, but like you said, they're well maintained, and they have to get them turned over kind of like, just like we do at a certain mileage, but yes, I don't know what the mileage is or the year.
So they would be donating it, it'd become a county vehicle?
Correct.
I guess I would think that if we were gonna participate in this, we would want some kind of agreement. Did she, I mean, other than just, here's the keys, here's the
Right.
title type of
Right.
deal. I would think we'd want some type
Like
of
the
agreement.
title
that-
changing and.
Well, that spells it out that they're giving it to us free of charge, or if there is maintenance money, that maintenance money is built into that agreement. What happens at the end of life? Is it expected back, or do we just have the right to do with it what we want? I would like to see an agreement, if we could. I'm sure Charlie can get something written up that would be satisfying. Did you have something
No, I
else,
was-
Daniel?
You asked the question, I was wondering,
Okay.
is this staying a city titled vehicle, or would we be
My
assuming the
understanding is
title?
we would get the title
Yeah.
and we would be able to dispose of it at the end of its life with us.
So if we can just get that, I think
Yeah, I
it'd be a
think-
great deal on an agreement.
Right, yep,
Okay.
and so along with that year and mileage,
Mhm.
just to clarify that, I think
Spell
that'd
it
be
out.
good.
Okay,
Other than that, I mean, I don't have a big heartache
Right.
about it, you know,
Okay.
just that we have it
yeah,
cut and dry from the start.
right. Okay.
Any
I will-
other discussion? Hold on, don't run away.
Okay.
In case Bill's got anything to add, you got anything? Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we postpone action on this item until all relevant information is presented to the board.
thank you, Kurt.
Second?
Thank you, Daniel. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Folden,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Schwanberg,
Yes.
Sykes,
No.
and Whitmer.
Yes, okay. Thanks, Lori, and
Sorry.
then, you know, tell Sue thank you also.
Okay.
And I'm sure that at the next meeting, if they can have that information, we can get that on for the 31st.
Okay,
All right?
all right, thank you.
Thank you. We're within a minute here, so we'll just hold on till the 9 AM one. How many did we end up with?
I can go see, but right now we have 4.
Yeah, he was expecting 5, so we want to make sure we give right till the 9 o'clock hour. I did not know we were gonna buzz through the top part so quickly, so Craig Vincent was coming in from Plattsmouth this morning. He'll be talking about the community solar deal here that's out on the north edge of York. I told him sometime between 9 and 9:30 would be okay, seeing as how he's come from Plattsmouth, so. We don't really have time to talk a lot about that right now anyway, in the next 30 seconds. Well, I do have 9 o'clock now. And now it's time to discuss and act on opening bids for replacing bridge project B 975 Road O between M 550 and M 450. We would know this more so as the bridge down by Sachs Lake, I guess would be a better way to describe it for those that don't know the 450 and 550. We do have 4 bids in front of us at this point in time. Harvey, who is with you this morning?
This is Tim Farmer with Speece Lewis.
I'm sorry, last name?
Farmer.
Okay.
F-A-R-M-E-R.
And the first bid in front of us is from, as it said, Herbst, Herbst Construction out of Lamar's, Iowa. There's a bid bond with it. Bond amount is 5% of the total amount of bid. Okay, total for bridge items. It's cut out in 2 different areas. Total for bridge items, $894,556.
Repeat, please.
$894,556. Total for guardrail items, $31,200. There is also a total for general items of $4,700. And then the overall bid for project is $1,113,406. There is an estimated date of construction start 11/7 of this year of 2022, and completion 3/24 of 2023. Second one looks like it's from Simon. There's the same bond, 5%. Okay, total, I'll split it out the same way as last time. Total for bridge items is $952,000. Total for guardrails is $32,600. General items is $4,300. Total bid project, $1,133,800. Start 6/6 of 2022, and completion 10/19 of 2022.
Who was that?
That was Simon, sorry.
Could you repeat the total? 100?
$1,133,800.
Thank you.
Midwest out of Lincoln. Same bond, as 5%. Okay, bridge items, $831,464.80. 831,464.80. Guardrail items, $32,895. 32,895. General items, $4,998.90. 4,998.90. Overall bid project, $1,039,572.92. January 3rd of 2023 start, May 1 of 2023 estimated completion. This one does have a note,
May what?
May 1 of 2023. Those are obviously estimated as all the other ones. This note is all salvage materials to the contractor.
Would you read that final number again, please, Randy?
$1,039,572.92.
Thank you.
Everybody got that? And the last one. And this one was JJK, out of Ceresco. Bond in the 5% amount. Okay, bridge items, $981,351.47. 981,351.47. Guardrail, $30,600. 30600. General, $5,750.
$5,750.
Total, $1,208,572.54. 1,208,572.54. And that's November of this year, November of 2022 estimated start date, and March estimated completion of 2023. Those are the four bids that we have in front of us. I assume that you guys would like to go look through stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, they will come back and give us their recommendation. At this time, then, we will go back to the regular meeting and discuss an act on community solar service agreement between York County and Nebraska Public Power. Craig, if you would come forward. Everybody, I believe, had this attachments in their e-meetings.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Craig Vincent with Nebraska Public Power District. I appreciate a few minutes on your agenda this morning to talk about the community solar service agreement that you have in your packets. I believe City Administrator Sue Crawford has met with you previously and talked with you about the fact that our community solar project in York is going to be going into commercial operation soon. We are targeting mid-June. We've got some supply chain issues holding us up, potentially holding us up, but we're still at this point targeting mid to late June. I believe when Sue met with you, I think she talked with you about the mayor's desire to allocate the energy, or we refer to that as shares, but the energy from that solar generating facility to public facilities where the financial benefit and also the promotional benefit of using renewable energy will go the farthest in meeting the public good. And so we're at the point now where we're finalizing those arrangements. This community solar service agreement that you have in your packets is a formalization of the relationship between NPPD and York County for the allocation of shares from the community solar facility that will essentially be equivalent to all of the usage that you have on your York County accounts. Now, obviously, you're not plugged directly into the solar generator, so I can't tell you that you're getting direct solar shares being fed to your facilities, but from a financial transaction standpoint, you're receiving the equivalent of 100% of your usage on county accounts from the solar facility. There is a financial benefit to that as well, because the solar energy that we're receiving is priced a little bit more favorably than NPPD's base generation mix. On an annual basis, based on your previous historical usage, that works out to just a little over $5,000 a year. So not huge, but it's definitely a credit. The way that will be shown, it will show up as you will receive a charge for solar energy and a credit for the base generation cost on each of your monthly bills, on each of your York County accounts. That $5,000 estimated savings is an aggregation of all those over the course of a year based on your past usage. This agreement is, again, it just simply formalizes how the program is going to work. It makes reference to a solar energy rate schedule, which you also have in your packets. Once you approve entering into this arrangement with NPPD, it continues indefinitely for as long as the county wishes to continue to be a participant. The price of the solar energy is locked for 30 years, so that will never change. And so although we've had 9 years of rate stability, should our rates go up in the future, that savings would increase because the cost of the solar energy will remain fixed for the 30-year power purchase agreement that we have with the developer. There is a $50 registration fee that we assess that's credited back to you after 3 years of participation. That was really, when this process was developed, that $50 charge was really aimed at residential customers that are in and out of the program, maybe in and out of their homes, and that was intended to offset our administrative costs for handling those accounts multiple times. It's not really applicable to an institutional user like York County, but it's part of the program, part of the board-approved rate. So we will assess that $50 charge on one of your first bills. The solar energy credits will start showing up on your accounts first full month after the facility goes live. So if we are successful in going into commercial operation in June, then July would be the first month of generation, and then your August bill is where you would see the credits for July. That's it in a nutshell. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
And when he talks about the county accounts, we're looking at obviously at the courthouse, forbid I forget one, but the extension office,
Yeah. County shop.
County shop, aging services, I believe,
Yes.
was on there too.
Yes, yes.
So the accounts that we currently have with them.
The other participants in the program will be York County Ag Society, City of York, York Public Schools, and then the York College Holtis Fieldhouse was also included in the program. Although York College is a private institution, the Fieldhouse is primarily a public use facility, and so that's the reason that it was included.
Go ahead, Kurt.
So the power generated to operate this courthouse, where's it coming from right now?
It is coming from the networked electric system that runs throughout York, and in turn is tied to the statewide electric system, which in turn is tied to the regional electric grid.
Okay.
So there's not, I mean, physically there is a service connected to the courthouse that's feeding the courthouse, but the energy coming through that service is basically coming from the grid.
The grid.
Which
So
is
like,
an integrated network of facilities.
so like you said, it's not like we're hooked up to that solar field. So this is just primarily all on paper then?
Primarily,
Okay.
if I could use an example using very simplified numbers, if your use was 100 kilowatt hours in a month, obviously that's going to be spread out, some during the day, some during the night. If you take 100 kilowatt hours of solar energy, you're obviously not receiving that. You don't have a direct extension cord running to the solar generator.
Right.
So it's a financial transaction or paper transaction, if you will, based on an equivalency. So you're receiving credit for the equivalent amount of solar shares that represents your usage, and then you're receiving the financial credit associated with that.
Okay. And so that financial credit comes from whom then?
Comes from NPPD.
NPPD.
NPPD is buying all of the output from the solar facility, and then we're reselling it to customers in York.
And then where does NPPD get the funds to buy that credit then?
It's based, so NPPD, let me just back up a step. Our community solar program was established about 6 or 7 years ago, and it was intended to provide an opportunity for communities that we serve at retail, like York, and I'll list some others for you, for communities that want to get involved in solar energy to do so. What we were beginning to see, and we still see to some extent, was a lot of individual homes and businesses were putting up rooftop solar or individual facilities to serve their own needs. From a cost efficiency standpoint, a system like that takes a long time to break even, because you've got the upfront investment in the system, you've got the insurance, the maintenance, you've got concerns over whether your roof is shaded by your neighbor's trees, so on and so on. So the community solar program that we put together was intended to be a utility scale solar facility located on a site that would be provided by the city, and in an area where it would get a lot of sun, generation would be very efficient, and it could be cost effectively interconnected back to the electric system. And again, because it's utility scale, the interconnection can be a fairly significant part of the project. This program started off back in, I think, 2017, I believe. Venango little village of Venango in southwest Nebraska was actually our first facility. Scotts Bluff, we've put 2 facilities in so far. Ainsworth has a facility. Kearney has a facility. We are finishing up a facility in Norfolk, finishing up a facility here in York. There's one under construction in Ogallala, and we have several more that are in the pipeline. The way that we approach these, once the community expresses interest, we enter into a letter of intent with the community, which is what we did with York. Basically says, community is interested in pursuing this. NPPD, please issue a request for proposal. We put together a request for proposal, or RFP, for the solar project. We put that on the street, we evaluate bids. We review those bids with the community. We award it to a developer. The developer builds the site. Excuse me, the developer owns and operates the site. In the case of York, we're working with a developer out of Lincoln called GRNE. They also built the facility in Ainsworth and they're working on the one in Ogallala. The developer, and in this case GRNE, owns the facility. They operate it. They take all the financial benefits of ownership that are available through incentive programs. NPPD cannot, because as a public utility, we're not able to take advantage of those tax credits and whatnot. We enter into a power purchase agreement, which in the case of the York facility is for 30 years. We buy all the generation from that facility. We in turn resell it to customers in York, and that is an important distinction I want to make between our community solar program and other merchant generators. We're buying that output and reselling it to customers in York for the benefit of customers in York. It's not being sold outside of the community. We're able to afford to give the credit back to our customers because when the price for that solar energy was bid to us in the request for proposal, the price was bid at a cost less than our basic generation cost in our existing portfolio of generating units. Developer was able to do that based on their financing, the incentives that they're going to receive as the owner-operator, other operating and tax considerations. We don't go into that in great detail because we just asked for a price, a 30-year fixed price for the energy to be bid to us. And all of our recent projects have come in at very attractive pricing that is below our basic cost. Our earlier projects, the first ones up through the Kearney project, I would say, all came in at premium pricing. So the cost for the solar generation was above our basic cost. In some communities, that was not a deterrent. Scotts Bluff, for example, had a huge appetite for the concept of solar energy, and so even though the pricing was at premium, customers in Scotts Bluff fully subscribed all the energy being generated from the facility. Sorry, Kurt, that was a bit of a long-winded answer,
But that's
I hope
fine.
that's what you're looking for.
And you answered some more of my questions that I had, so I appreciate that. So, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions at this time?
Just a couple,
Daniel.
just to follow up, I think you touched this, did I understand your, statement correctly in that the company at Lincoln that's developing it, they are considered the owner of the facility?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're responsible for its life cycle.
Okay, so, and then just a clarification, the enrollment fee, not that it matters, if we go forward with this, we're gonna stick with it and it'll get refunded. Is that on each account, or is that just one for York County?
One for York County.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, I think that's my question. I did have one other question.
Go ahead.
Did we have anybody review the agreement?
No, we did not.
Okay.
I mean,
It looks
legal.
fairly, right, yeah, exactly.
And it is in there, that we can, at any time, write, not just say, but write in to get out of this
Sure.
agreement with NPPD as either party can get out of it if we feel that it's not
Sure.
prudent on our side. Kurt, I'm sorry, Kurt.
Where's the location of this facility again?
It's at the landfill,
That's right, okay, thank you.
which was another reason that the city wanted to be sure to include the county in this, since it's a jointly owned facility.
And does the city have agreements with this organization or you as far as when it's done, what happens with the,
The city has an agreement with NPPD that we call a project agreement that governs the overall administration of the program, because the City of York is our primary partner in offering this to customers. The city in turn has a lease agreement with GRNE for the property, and in that lease agreement, that includes decommissioning process at the end of the life cycle, and other terms regarding the use of the property and the maintenance of it. The property is going to have sustainable land cover, which we have found in some of the communities where we've done this program before. The ground cover program is almost as much interest to the public as the solar facility itself, because we get a lot of interest from ag education groups, FFA, 4-H, a lot of different groups at really all the age levels that want to come out and see and do programs with the sustainable ground cover. So public education is an important part of this program as well. And once the system is up and running, then we'll be starting to work on some public outreach, maybe some programs through the schools, some kiosks or display boards at different locations in the city that's monitoring real time the output of the facility and displaying that. Other things that we'll be working with the city on as we go forward.
I know that through conversations I had with the mayor that he came up with the idea to have the public entities receive this. And I believe it was through conversations he had with NPPD, they did not feel there would be enough shares that they would have been gobbled up, and not every citizen would have been able to participate, because there would have been a limited amount of shares. So this way, and in fact, when we talk about the college, or not the college, I'm sorry, with the school system and with us in the city, then every taxpayer does get to get some benefit. It's not huge, but it's better than nothing, so.
Yep. Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
I just would say, like, I think that this is good. I think it's a good project, and, it was a project that was put in an area that wasn't being used for anything else, and so I think that this is a good place for a solar facility. I would move that we enter into this agreement.
Thank you, Daniel.
Is that a motion?
Yep, he moved.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any other discussion? Go ahead.
So the owner on record will be a private company, so there will be assessed value to these panels then, is that correct?
There's not an assessed value to the panels. They will pay nameplate
Nameplate
tax.
capacity, yeah.
And then there's I'm not sure if there's an assessed value to the land, because it's my understanding it was not on the tax rolls previously.
Right.
So I can't answer specifically with regard to the ground, but they will pay a nameplate tax on the panels.
And that, I think, as we've heard through other conversation, is a set amount that is, I believe, is set by state statute.
Nebraska statute, yeah.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Roll call.
Gross.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Osborne.
Yes.
Bogan.
No.
And Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Craig. I'll get it signed, and we'll get it, or I mean, I don't know if you're gonna be around, or we'll get it back. Can we just fax it back
Just
to you?
scan it back.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
We will.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we got equalization at 9:30. We got time.
Yes.
Okay. We'll go back to the bridge bid. You look through everything.
Yep, all the math checked correctly, and you had 4 responsible bidders. Midwest obviously is the low bid, and they've done work for Harvey recently, and they've built this exact same bridge that we designed for a different county, so they're more than capable.
Your recommendation
My
is?
recommendation is to go with Midwest Infrastructure for $1,039,572.92.
And those timeframes on the, I mean, as reading them, I didn't write anything down, but that time frame was what on that? one?
That was January to May,
Okay.
is what it was.
Next year
Right,
construction, wintertime construction period. Okay.
yes. And I did not have any issue with any of their timeframes of anybody that put it out either way, but I just think, knowing what they done for our two bridges down here in this bid, I think that's my recommendation.
Okay. I did have a couple, as talking to people about this next bridge on the deal, do we know the age? You know, times get away from us, and a couple of people said, well, it seems like we just replaced that one, but it's, I mean,
What was done on that bridge is they cut holes in the deck, they rebuilt the pier in it.
okay,
years
so it was a
back.
repair.
Yes, it was a repair on that. And
That's
then
probably what they were
we
thinking
had the
about.
hole show up again where the patch was, and we patched it last summer. Because we tried to steel plate, that did not work, so we went back and had to put concrete or a patch in it to get it through. And another one is showing up, so.
Okay.
yes.
Okay, we have a recommendation from Highway Superintendent to use Midwest for this one. You have a question?
You wanna know the age? Give me the location again, Harv
It
Road.
is on Road O between M 450 and M 550. It's right by Saks Lake.
Between, right by, here's O. Right here. Okay, hold on here. You wanna know how old that was, Randy?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Thanks, Harvey.
You bet. Bear with me here. I believe it was built in 1937.
There you go.
Original construction.
You jumped off that bridge, didn't you? Right into the river, yeah.
You wanted to put the hole in the
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
thank you.
I would make a motion to go ahead and approve the recommendation of the highway superintendent and award this bid of $1,039,572,092.92 to Midwest Infrastructure.
Second.
Thank you, guys. Any other discussion?
Just, one quick, that was, I think that one called out about the salvage materials
Yes.
and stuff.
Yes.
We probably don't want it anyway, it's,
And we aren't gonna make up $74,000
Yep.
of scrap.
yep,
So I think we're better off to stay this way.
yep.
How did we come in with the current situation that's going on, you know, the economy? I mean, did this bridge come in about where we thought?
I estimated it at $1,086,000, so
Just a little bit under then.
just slightly under my estimate, kind of right in between.
Good.
But, no, 3 years ago, it would have been significantly less.
Okay. But this is where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Baumsberger.
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there stuff we have to sign on there?
Not yet.
Okay, you'll get it.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we're gonna recess as the Board of Commissioners, and we will convene as the Board of Equalization. Whenever you're ready, roll call, please.
Gross.
Present.
Baldwin.
Present.
Baumsberger.
President?
Sykes.
Present.
Omenauer.
Present, open meetings law is posted on the south side of our chambers, on our website, and on the wall outside of our chambers. Proof of publication, I believe was still May 12th, right?
Yep.
And the News Times and on our website. Review and approve the minutes of the May 3rd Board of Equalization meeting, should have been in your packets.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, Daniel.
Second.
Thank you, Kurt. Any discussion? Roll call.
Gross.
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Baumsberger.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes, adopt today's agenda.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Jack. Or thank you,
Second.
Bill and Jack. Discussion? Roll call.
Walsberger.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Colvin.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. In front of us today is a couple tax roll corrections, it looks like. Go ahead, Ann.
Okay, we're adding value to the 22 tax roll for a mobile home that was sold, and we're adding in a value of our tax amount is $167.28 on a value of $632. And then we have an annexation by the City of York, ordinance number 2312, annex the property. It's now in a regular track 1210-3, and it is the property where they're building the new truck repair shop out on South 81. And so that annexation brought $166,537 of value into the 22 tax roll. Of course, we don't know what the taxes will be yet, but that's the valuation anyways. It had been $61,938. The new taxable value is $228,475, making the difference of $166,537.
Okay, any questions, Ann? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve the tax roll corrections as presented.
Any Kurt?
Second?
Thank you, Daniel. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Colvin.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Walsberger.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes.
We are in the process of printing valuation notices today, getting ready to mail them out. They'll go out the 1st of June. And so if anybody has any questions on their value, be sure to have them get a hold of me and I can explain maybe what the change was.
How is the commercial going?
No, that won't go on till 23.
I'm just asking how
Oh.
that's going.
That's going very well. The gentlemen are all doing the pickup work on the individual properties, and now they're just putting their information together so we can enter it in the computer.
Inputting information, okay?
Mhm.
Cool. Any else from Ann this morning? Thank
Okay,
you.
sure.
We will adjourn as the Board of Equalization and resume as the Board of Commissioners. Unless I'm missing anything, we have just a couple items left. Thank you, Ann.
Yep.
Discuss an act on premium pay distributions to the county employee with ARPA funds.
Aye. Mr. Chairman, I brought this up once before, and it wasn't on the agenda. We talked about discussing it at some time in the future. I think since that last time, this has been approved and passed by Seward County and by Hamilton County. Both have approved this premium pay for their employees. Seward County has their own resolution, which I think, did you put that on out for everybody?
I just give it to you.
I'll pass this around to let people read it. That's their agenda and what that was passed. This premium pay is from the ARPA funds, which we received half of the 2.6 million. That's
Mhm.
correct. So that money is there. And I also understand that there's going to be a meeting with Perennial about the broadband, which will also be asking for the same funds. Is that correct? So I think it's time that we look at doing this for our employees. And my recommendation back then was $4,000 per employee. There are some regulations, some Hamilton County put down 3 or 4, and I'll read them. The worker must have been employed by Hamilton County, we can change that name, during the prescribed critical time, that was March 19th through June 14th, and I think the date's on that one, on the one from Seward. So that's over a year. Worker must currently be employed by Hamilton County in good standings. The worker must have worked assigned shifts at the county's place of work during the prescribed critical time. The employee must have played a vital role in keeping day-to-day essential government operations available to the citizens of Hamilton County and in contact with the public. So, I think most of these places that have passed this have considered all their employees as essential. I don't think we hire people just to hire people. They're essential to do the business of the county. So anybody other than county elected officials would be eligible for this premium pay. The Hamilton County attorney did look up some information as to figuring out the amounts, and I'll pass this around also. This is from Hamilton County to let people see that. I know I did ask Kelly to put that on the agenda as to discuss and act on this. I don't think we can want to act on it until you all have a chance to read these and look at them to make a decision. I think that third page of the Seward County resolution has a formula there as to payout. I don't believe we need to knock down the amount because of the number of hours worked. If they worked these hours, they had contact with the public during that time and were placed into a medical position. I think employees that are considered essential in the top of your head would be the communications, the 911, deputy sheriffs are out in the public. So those are the ones that pop into mind, but believe me, if we didn't have our payroll people in there paying your wage, you would be a little upset. So I think they're pretty essential people. The assessor done her job. I think we would have to have the HR person go through their pay records at that time to see who is actually working in their normal work-related places. There was a comment made, I think, on Hamilton County about, well, motor grader operators don't have contact with the public, and it was argued that yes, they do. So I think they had contact with the public while they were doing their job too. So I think if you want to look at each individual job that's out there and determine who you think are essential and who you don't think are essential, maybe we need to look at our hiring practices. I don't think any one of the elected officials will sit here and tell you that they have enough personnel. So I think Harvey left, so I can't ask him, but I know he hasn't had. So I would like to give you those pieces of paper for you to look at and evaluate yourself, and then we could bring this back in front of the board to act upon it.
Any other discussion?
Hamilton's county attorney looked up the amounts that they were assessing. Since we don't have a county attorney that we can talk to, I'm looking at the county attorney from Hamilton County with what records he found. Yeah, if you would, make copies of these and put them in your boxes.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to, I support what Jack has found out here. I think we definitely need to do something. We've got all the counties around us doing something for essential employees that were here during that period of time. And I think we really got to seriously look at compensating them for what they've done.
We've mentioned this before too, that this money is not out of the tax fund of the county, it's out of the ARPA funds. And yes, we all pay taxes, and part of these taxes will be. But I know we received a check here last year from the federal government for, what they call it, compensation or whatever, for $1,400. I don't think anybody in here returned that check, did they? They all kept it, so I don't think this is any different than that.
We good? Okay, at this time then, it is on discuss and act. So we can discuss and act on it, or we can postpone.
Mr. Chairman, I just make a motion to go ahead and postpone it till the next meeting to give all the board the opportunity to study the statistics and evaluate and come back with a recommendation that they will be happy with.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Bosper,
Yes.
Colburn,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yeah.
Sykes,
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we're on to committee reports then. Who wants to start?
I attended two different meetings. One was the Region 5 meeting a week ago yesterday in Lincoln. We did spend some time, paid some tribute to Benny Byers, who passed away. That had been our chairman. And now we have the vice chairman took over, Gail Pullman, from Johnson County, I believe it is. He will be our chairman from now on. So we've got a few more meetings left this year. And Gail will do a super job. I did attend the EDF meeting the other night, and first of all, I want to commend Daniel over there for getting up and making a comment. Some individual, I can't remember who it was, that made a presentation, and they talked around it. Daniel got up and said, "Don't talk around it, give this man an answer." And I thought that was fantastic. I want to commend you for that. And I listened to these guys longer than I wanted to. And I know that we are only here to do the zoning. But as this thing got deeper and deeper, and people were asking questions, and they weren't getting the answers that they should have. And first of all, they went from 5,000 acres to 2,500 acres. Why did they do this? Because people probably aren't signing up. And then the thing that really bothered me was somebody said, "What is your parent company? Where is your parent company?" It's in France. It's a French-owned company, which is fine. I have nothing against the French people, but I've always been told to shop at home. To me, shop at home is the United States of America, not France. That's my opinion, and I'll stay with that. And I know it's not our job to judge whether they're here or whether they're not. We only do this. So, but the people, I think, have pretty well spoken, and I think you can agree to that. And some things, you know, to them, 2 and 1 is 4, not 2 and 2. I don't understand everything, you know, that they're trying to, I guess, push onto the people of York County. My opinion.
One of the
Is
first
that-
questions,
I'm sorry, is that everything then?
That's all I have.
Okay, go ahead.
excuse me for breaking in, Randy. One of the first questions was asked that group when they come in here is, how many easements have you already had signed? I've been kind of told, and this is just hearsay, this is not fact, but I've been told that a lot of those people that have signed those agreements don't even live here. They own property here and they've signed the agreements. They might live in California or New York or someplace else. They don't live here. From talking to people on the street, not a lot of people that I've talked to are really for this program. So that's just my 2 cents worth on that.
Do you have any,
Yes, I've been to many meetings, starting with aging. Aging, we've had the meetings, and just like my question to Lori when she was up here, all these mandates, you know, IT people, and I'm not pointing fingers at IT people particularly, but that's one thing. You know, each one of them has a different way of doing the same thing on a computer. My way is right if I'm doing it. His way is right if he's doing it. You get to the same position, but you do it differently. The aging has been attached, whatever you want to put it, with doing these projects and getting all of this information. They didn't supply any other personnel or any software to do this. It just adds a lot of extra work for the employees that we have out there now. And I know it's confidential on some of the things that we talked about, but that, and we've had other meetings. We talked about the offer from the city of York to offer the unit for the use. I've had several meetings with Four Corners, and that was one of the main things was brought up was transportation. He said they had 289 requests for transportation after 5 o'clock when they're closed. So trying to find people. You know, it used to be that you'd go to your church. There'd always volunteer, somebody would go pick you up and take you home. That doesn't happen anymore. I popped up with, you know, they don't know that, but there used to be a program in York a long time ago called Welcome Wagon. I think that was the name of it, where a group of people got together, put information in a basket and took it around to new people coming into the community. A lot of people still think aging is for the old, infirm, but the drivers there are not EMTs. They're not qualified to take care of non-ambulatory people. I myself have driven people to VA doctor's appointments in Lincoln and other places. So, you know, volunteerism is really well in York, but it's getting thinner because the people who are volunteer now are looking for the services. So, okay, so that, enough of that. Four Corners did come to the board and ask for the county to be the flow-through for that grant from SEND. SEND has asked us twice to apply for a grant. Last time it was turned down. This time, I'm assuming, according to the newspaper, that it was approved and that the county has agreed to do the flow-through.
we signed the pre-application.
The pre-application, yes. It hasn't been approved yet by SEND.
Not that I'm aware of, but we just, this last week, signed the pre-application.
Okay. Well, that's good news for me, because I didn't know that. Anyway, that's about all I have to say.
Daniel?
I too attended the solar meeting, as we heard. There was a lot of questions. There were a few answers. I think that those there, I don't know that all the questions were answered, but there was discussion. Tech committee will meet this afternoon. Continue to get some calls on roads. We talked about gravel this morning. Like it was mentioned, you know, we don't know where there's no gravel until we get rain. So I think that Harvey's crew is gonna continue to get gravel out there on those roads so that we don't have the mud holes that we do have. But other than that, I think that's about what I have to report today.
Kurt?
I'll tell you one thing about these county roads. I had a Yeti cup sitting on the top of my tailgate on my truck, and it rode for 2.5 miles on a county road.
Wow.
Even in Beaver Township, where we're elected down there. So I can tell you, we've got some pretty good roads right now.
Daniel and I are liaisons.
That's right. Got a lot better than I got off of it.
And that's because you drove under 50 mile an hour.
That's right, Jack, that's right. Haven't attended any meetings per se. I did listen into the budget meeting that was held that NACO sponsored up in Norfolk last Thursday, I believe it was. It was hard to hear. There was a portion of it that was presented by the Department of Revenue PAD, Property Administration Division, Property Assessment Division rather, and the webinar portion you could hear fine, but the people at the location where the conference is being held, it was kind of hard to hear them. They had the conversation about the postcards. I think there's still a lot of questions up in the air on that one. I do believe, it looks like there's some information that we can obtain from NACO on the information presented that day, and I think the slide shows that they had for the postcards, how to do that, and that hearing itself. There's a slideshow that'll be available for that as well. I also did hear from a constituent that they enjoy this owl. So they enjoy the Facebook, being able to watch it on Facebook. So for what it's worth. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have for you.
That's it, for right now.
For right
We
now.
do have, Kelly does have a book in her office of the budget workshop. There, I did contact NACO. Anything they have left over, we can purchase. So if somebody wants one, Kurt, I think, is gonna graciously swing down, and he works right there. And he was gonna turn this in. I've got a sheet, so if we want one, we do have one. I know I'm gonna get one
Yeah,
for myself.
I wouldn't mind
You
one,
want one
please.
too, Daniel? And then I thought for department heads, we'd pick up a couple extras, and we will try to do something. Our budget workshop here will be the first part of June. I haven't picked a day yet, but somewhere first part of June to get that off and rolling. And hopefully we take care of that, so I'll get that filled out yet today. Met with Aging Service, or met at Aging about the drainage issue we have with the landowner that is on both sides of us. And he was very well to get along with. He feels like we need to get along, so we're gonna do some grading up there. Mr. Heine is right across the street with his equipment. And it just, I know we have our roads department, but our roads department's busy doing what our roads department's supposed to be doing. And so he's gonna peel back some of some of the white rock that we've placed out there. We'll do some grading around to get that water to transfer around the backside of the building, and then we'll probably be putting a little bit more white rock back in there too, to accomplish a little bit more parking back there. The other thing that I met with this last week is, and it's something that was on our 1 and 6 this year, is met out on East 4th Street. And we're gonna have to tackle that. We're gonna have to get going, tackle that issue. Met with Harvey and our surveyor, Daniel. I called him afterwards. There's some flags out there showing where the road should be, and where it currently is not the same place. So we're gonna have to see on that. I know that Harvey had it estimated in our 1 and 6 at 45, but the amount of dirt that's gonna have to be moved and done, it's probably more like 3 times that amount. And this would be from from N west back into Main Avenue, but that's something that we're gonna have to, I know Harvey's just looking for direction.
Sure, yep.
We're gonna have to get after it, and I believe this is an issue that's been kicked down the can, down the road for years. Rex said this is the 3rd time he's been out there and surveyed it since 1980 or 82. So we have to do something. And it is a road that is not a platted, because it's not a section, it's a mid-section road. So it's not necessarily a platted road. It's just turned into a county road. Go
Do we
ahead.
just need to put something on our next agenda, just saying we're doing this, appoint a committee to oversee this, or
I think
Authorize
Harvey
road
just
liaisons.
needs, I mean, we obviously approved the 1 and 6, and that project was in the 1 and
Okay.
6. He just wanted to make sure he was proceeding with our wishes.
Gotcha.
You know, is, if you guys can picture it, and Jack, you live up by it, I'm sure you can, it's not a full mile. It runs up to N, which is a dead end. It does service one residence out there on the south side. Landowners are 4 landowners, one of them being the city on the north side has got the quarter. Mr. Bloom is on the south side. Keldron, which is the new development on the north side of Maine, has got part of it, and then, you know, one of Daniel's family members has got the farm ground on the north side on the west end, so. But if you just drive out there, you can see, if you drive up Fort Street, you can see the direction the road goes, and then we curve to the south and go down to a box culvert, and then we curve back to the north to go over the box culvert and then back south and on out again. And the flags are still out there if you guys wanna go out there and take a look. I was out there yesterday with the mayor, and they're still there, so, and the flags.
I think it's got a liability issue.
It can be, because we've got a gravel road completely on private property. It's not the center line, and once again, the section miles are roads, the midsection miles weren't necessarily interpreted to be roads, so this would be some action I believe we would have to take. So that's just something that I think this board needs to quit, either decide we're done and we want to abandon it, or, you know, get it fixed right, is what we need to do. Leela has been doing some groundwork on some possible updates to our old commissioner room. I need to look into those just a little bit more. She had talked about equipment and stuff like that, equipment being chairs and desks, and for that. We do have, as of yesterday, we have our year-to-date numbers. And I will be sending out an email to all of our department heads this week. We should be around 83% spent. We got a fair amount of our items are 83. Some are just a little bit over, and then we've got one that's drastically over, one that's in the 90s, and that's our jail. So I'll be sending that out for people to review and get a plan of action in place within the next, because we're running out of meetings, and undoubtedly we're going to have to transfer budget authority on one of those items. And so, that being said, do you have anything to add today?
I
Elections
do.
went well.
Yeah, elections went well, and I just want to tell Daniel and Randy, thank you for helping us set up and tear down our elections. Our Boy Scouts, I appreciate them, they help every year to help tear down and help the poll workers bring everything back in. Thank our poll workers, they did a great job, 13 hours at one spot, they did awesome. And my office for helping me run the election successfully. So thank you, everyone.
I did forget somebody, and I shouldn't have. You guys were there that night. I was unable to attend the meeting, but Jenny Reese from the Extension Office, I did communicate with her the next day. I mean, I heard she did a good job, and this is not her wheelhouse to do what she did that night. So emotionally, the next day, she was spent. But I heard she did a good job, and I wanted to thank her for doing that, and I already did, and I encourage the rest of you, if you do see her, to thank her for doing that too. She felt like it went as well as could be expected, and she, you know, criticized herself a little bit about things she could have did better, but I'm sure all in all it went well. So we'll look forward to that coming in front of us. A little update on the solar. I did talk to Joe yesterday. Apparently, one of the zoning committee was on an extended vacation, and he has just got back into town at the end of last week, and so that's apparently why they hadn't had any action yet. There will be a board meeting planned for the planning and zoning, and they're supposed to let us know as soon as they get that scheduled, so that will be coming forward. Anything else?
I have a question. We voted last time to keep the owl, correct?
Mhm.
Did we vote to purchase one?
We did.
Okay. I didn't catch that.
And it
The
was,
city was nice enough to loan us theirs, right?
Correct, and this is actually still the city's, we've not gotten ours purchased yet, but we will be doing that.
and they actually offered extended. Yeah, so, okay, anything else? We're adjourned.
You want me to-